Some of you have asked me how to build a 7-figure brand, and I just want to tell you that number one key right now is leverage. Leverage is everything. So we have this idea in our minds as entrepreneurs that I need to work hard. That is not true. You need to work smart, and you need to work really hard on putting the right people into place and pulling the right levers. Like, this is a big deal in business, and this is where everyone gets stuck. I have a buddy that's consulting with another business that I put him in touch with, and they're just not listening to him. They're not pulling the levers. They're not doing what they're told. And the reason for that is because we get stuck in our mindset, right? And we don't really think about anything outside of our box. You're like, I grew to this size, I got this big, I can keep doing it this way. But the reality is it's not working. And so what really amazing CEOs and entrepreneurs do is they find the people and they find the levers and they start pulling them. And that's how they build something that's greater than themselves. And I think we're taught this lesson of like, if I'm a strong entrepreneur, I'm gonna figure it out. It's me, I'm the guy, I work hard. And there's another book out there that I love, I love to make book recommendations. It's called Who Not How. And when you learn in your business, the key to the next step to you growing is not you. It's who you are going to find to do it for you, hopefully, or at the very bare minimum, do it with you. So if you're just starting out, maybe you need a coach, right? Maybe you need someone to do it with you, kind of coach you through it. Maybe that's your who. And then you start building a business, and then maybe you need some sort of how. Like maybe it's a consultant that works side by side. And then as you grow your business bigger, right, it's another person, and they're gonna do it all for you because they are the person to put in place. So when I think about a high-level CEO building a 7-figure, but now let's talk about 8 and 9-figure businesses, I think of somebody that is really, really good at finding the right who's for that perfect job in that specific time. So I've talked about this before, but Horowitz wrote a book. It's called The Hard Things About Hard Things. And he is basically a high-level CEO. I forget the startups he was in, but you would know them. Venture capital, Silicon Valley tech stuff. But he explained something that really resonated with me. He's like, if you're building a business and it's supposedly gonna blow up to be $1 billion valuation, and you're building that sales team and the board is like, you need to bring in somebody that the business can grow into because we're gonna blow up. And he said, that's the worst thing you can do. He goes, because somebody who's working over at Google and they're running a sales team that's hundreds of millions, maybe billions of dollars, is not the person that maybe has the scrappiness, the grit, or the ability to build a sales team of 20 people from the ground up. And then the other part of that, as you leverage your businesses grow, is now you gotta take that person that was scrappy and amazing and took your business to whatever it is by your side and say, hey, you're awesome, but now I gotta go bring in the person from Google. Right? I gotta bring in this woman, this man, whoever they are, and I've gotta put them in place to replace you because you're just not that person. And when you start to see the value of leverage in your business, you start to see where you're placing all of these people and how they make sense. And so you can leverage capital, right? You can leverage technology. AI is huge right now with technology leverage. Like, it's amazing, right? It's replacing a lot of the human capital leverage. Right? And then you can leverage humans. Right? So I want you to think about that. There's so many ways we can automate, we can outsource, we can leverage by partnering. When you get big enough, you can leverage by acquisition. You can buy, if you're using this application or software and you get to the point where you're like one of their biggest customers, maybe you just want to acquire it and just absorb it into your business. But the key to go from, I would say, 6 figures to 7 figures is that blend of systems and being able to start to leverage. So like SOPs, standards, putting in things in place. It's leverage on its own, but then you really start to leverage by saying, okay, I can't do this alone. Who am I gonna get to work with me on these things? And then from 7 to 8 figures, it's all about leverage. That's all it is. It's all about pulling different levers and doing different things. If you don't do that, we're in that process right now where we're trying to go to that 8-figure mark. And it's like, if you don't do that and you think you can do it all on your own, you're really going to be one of those entrepreneurs that just becomes an archaic dinosaur and doesn't get the success you want. You have to learn to leverage.